What's up, everybody? Today is the fight night of Eimantas Stanionis versus Jaron Ennis. We're going to talk about that and much more when we come right back. Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean. And if you're in the chat, make sure you hit the thumbs up. And I appreciate everybody here today. We're going to jump in and talk about a little boxing, of course. And if it's a situation to where you don't make my life, because I know some people say they have been responding to me saying there are other parts of the world over in Europe and different areas. So it's all well and good. If it's too late on your time over there, you can still replay my live stream afterwards. You can still comment and you can still, engage in the conversation. All right. So this summer we'll have a fight card, a female fight card that Jake Paul is over, and it will be on the Netflix. The main event will be Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 3. It will be their third fight. That will be, I believe, in July. Now, if you're asking my opinion on the outcome, I personally feel anything short of a knockdown or a knockout, that is definitely going to be a situation to where I feel like, in my opinion, Amanda Serrano will not win the fight. The first two fights were close, but I definitely felt like in the rematch, Serrano edged it, and she still came up short. So I couldn't really think like what more she had to do to actually win, besides maybe dropping Katie Taylor or stopping her. So we'll see what happens this summer regarding those two ladies. So shout outs to Katie Taylor, shout outs to Amanda Serrano. And also let me add this about Katie Taylor. It just seems like she is good, and she's been good for boxing as well. But I feel like she's kind of like that quote unquote like the golden girl of boxing, and she's almost like a fake. Also, like I said before, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, the third fight. Who wins and why? Let me know in the chat. Now, as far as Zepeda, his style, to me, it'll be a very good fight to see, because he's going to apply some type of pressure on Shakur Stevenson. And as we know, Shakur is a very slick fighter, good foot movement, good ring IQ, a good boxing brain. So we know he's going to use all the skills he has and all the mobility he has to move around that ring. So we want to see if Zepeda has what it takes to cut off the ring when it's needed. That's the main thing with any fighter who fights a slick fighter, like your Shakur Stevensons, like your Floyd Mayweathers, like your Muhammad Ali, and all these fighters that were slicker fighters. You have to learn how to cut off the ring to actually get to them. So that would be the challenge for Zepeda. Will he be able to do that and become victorious? Also, I saw an interview on Fight Hub where Tim Tszyu, who is an Australian fighter, was talking about, well, I believe he's from Australia. Sometimes I get boxers mixed up. But Tim Tszyu was talking about he has his eyes on Sebastian Fandora. For those who know, they fought once before, and unfortunately, the fight was stopped due to a cut. Um, I watched the fight, but my memory, I don't remember exactly how he got cut, if it was by an elbow or a clash of heads. But I do remember Tim Tszyu was cut, and due to that bad cut he had, they had to stop the fight. But Tim Tszyu, being the type of warrior that he is, he wants he wants to run that back with Sebastian Fandora, and that's what he was saying on Fight Hub in an interview. Now, the interview guy from Fight Hub also threw out the name of Keith One Time Thurman. Keith Thurman is also interested not only in a Errol Spence fight, but he would fight Tim Tszyu. Thurman's pretty much a throwback fighter, and as far as I can see, he will fight any of these guys. So, shout outs to Keith Thurman, shout outs to Tim Tszyu. And while I'm talking about these guys, just in a hypothetical sense, should Tim Tszyu fight Fandora in the rematch? How do you see it going? What would be your prediction? And how does the fight pan out? The same question I want to ask is Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. Should that fight happen? How do you see it panning out? And what would be your prediction? This is all in having fun and high hopes that these fights do come to fruition. So we will see. Also, Lawrence Okolie, he did an interview and he mentioned Richard Riakporhe. So these are the UK fighters as a potential future opponent. He didn't say that was for sure, but he kind of brought his name up. So we'll see if that fight happens in the near future, because I've seen a couple of fights with Lawrence Okolie, and I like to see more of him. And I've seen a couple of highlights of Richard Riakporhe. So to see those two in the ring together, I would like to see both of them to kind of see how Richard Riakporhe would how his style would do against Lawrence Okolie. Now let's talk about tonight's event, one of tonight's events on ProBox TV. You have Stephen Shaw. His name was brought up in the past regarding Deontay Wilder, that he might be a potential opponent for Deontay Wilder. However, that's not the fight for Deontay. His upcoming fight will be against, I believe, Tyrell. Now, Stephen Shaw will be fighting tonight on ProBox TV, and he will be taking on his opponent, Rafael Akpajori, I believe you pronounce it. Rafael is Nigerian descendant, but he now lives in Miami, Florida, USA. He has a record of 18 wins and 1 loss. Rafael age is 34. He's standing at 6'8". He's a big guy. So he will be taking on Stephen Shaw. Stephen Shaw record is 20 wins, 2 losses. His age is 32, 6'4", hailing out of St. Louis, Missouri, USA. So we will see how that fight goes. To those who may know about Rafael, what is your prediction with him and Stephen Shaw tonight in their showdown on ProBox TV? Who do you believe will win the fight? Let me know in the chat, please. Also, our main event for tonight will be Matchroom and PBC. The one and only Jaron Ennis who was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, versus Eimantas Stanionis. And this for sure will be a banger. Um, so if you saw the interview with Boots Ennis, he basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, don't do too much because if you walk away from the TV screen, you may miss the stoppage or knockout. This sounds like a very confident Jaron Boots Ennis, who says he will get a knockout or a stoppage. In the same aspect, Eimantas Stanionis is also saying, don't sleep on him because he may be the one doing the knocking out. That he may very well knock out Jaron Boots Ennis. So you have two focused guys with two different styles, but both have power, and both either guy can stop the other man. Now, meanwhile, Stanionis, his wife, gave birth to their newborn daughter, but unfortunately, due to the fact he has to fight, he wasn't able to witness the birth of his daughter. But he talked about that in the interview, and he said him and his wife talked about it, and she understands he's on his job. As far as boxing, that's what he does. That's his job, and she understood that he would not be there to see his daughter being born. So I just want to know from you guys out there, who do you feel is going to win? Will it be a decision win by Boots Ennis? Will it be a decision win by Eimantas Stanionis? Will it be a knockout win by Stanionis? Will it be a stoppage by Stanionis? Will it be a stoppage by Boots Ennis? Or will it be a knockout by Jaron Boots Ennis? Let me know in the chat, please. Also, I've been looking at some interviews with the up and coming UK star Moses Ntuma. He's a very driven and a very focused, a lot of confidence in this young guy. I believe he's like 20 years old now. Moses Ntuma, he has power. He has pretty good speed. He has power in both hands. He will be a force to reckon with as he grows into boxing. My only fear and worry with him is that we've seen him dishing out. We've seen him stopping these guys. And even he talked about it in an interview with Talk Sports. Talk Sports Boxing is that, you know, you got your Mike Tysons, and I'm not comparing his style just to Mike Tyson, but you got your Mike Tysons, your Deontay Wilder, old school guy in my dad's era, Ernie Shavers. So these guys have a lot of punch power. These guys are known for stopping guys within a couple of rounds, whether it be the first round, the fifth round, the seventh round. Well, the thing is, a lot of times boxers that have that kind of power, if they don't stop their opponent and they get in deep waters, or they knock down their opponent and that opponent gets back up, like Andy Ruiz did with Anthony Joshua, as an example, or like Buster Douglas did to Mike Tyson back in the day. The question is, if he's faced with adversity, how will Moses Ntuma do? Because at that point, it's like you have to sink or swim. So will he be able to swim through the torrent of the wave if an opponent he's fighting is a lot tougher than what he's expected or what he's dealt with in his past fights. So we will eventually see him step up. I'm not sure when, but eventually we will see him stepping up in opposition. And that's when we're going to really know what he's made of. He has an upcoming fight with a gentleman I'm not too privy to, Mike Belongun. So we'll see. Moses Santuma has to show up and show out with this opponent, and once he gets past him, hopefully we'll start to see him with more familiar names. Maybe Charles Martin, the man from over here in America who called him out once. If not Charles Martin, what about Andy Ruiz? He hasn't been fighting in a while. He needs to get acclimated to getting in the ring again and getting the ring rust off of him. Andy Ruiz would be a good, tough opponent. He can take a punch. Every time he's been down, he's gotten back up. So Andy Ruiz would be a perfect prospect opponent for the young Moses Ntuma. That would definitely take him into the trenches. Even somebody like Big Baby Miller, who's going to be fighting Fabio Wardley soon. Fabio Wardley or Big Baby Miller, they would be a good fight for Moses Ntuma to step up. So there's a couple of people out there that will be a perfect step up opponent for Moses Ntuma. So let me know when it comes to Moses Ntuma, who would be your step up opponent pick? Drop the name of that boxer in the chat. And meanwhile, for the Tyson Fury fans, Tyson Fury a while back has said or made claims that he's retired from boxing. I don't believe he's retired, in my personal opinion. I feel like he's just kind of sitting back, taking a break. And if the right opponent comes along and the money's right, for instance, a Anthony Joshua fight, the fight that we all been longing to see for some years now, I believe that Anthony Joshua and the right amount of money, whether it's through Turkey Alashake or whoever finances it, whether it's Queensberry merging with Matchroom, which they've been doing anyway, by way of Turkey Alashake. But if they can make that happen and get the dollar amount right, I believe we may see Tyson Fury versus AJ in 2026. Meanwhile, what AJ needs to do is keep on fighting. Keep on doing what you know how to do. Stay sharp. Work on all your shortcomings, all your kinks. Because even though I'm a fan of Anthony Joshua, one thing I won't do is be biased. He does have his flaws as well. Yes, he's born with good power, left hand, right hand power. He works his opponent's body pretty good. He has a good uppercut. But my issue with Anthony Joshua is he needs to work on his conditioning. Maybe he needs to swim more. But however he's doing his cardio, something needs to be added to it, because when he gets in those deep rounds, in many fights, he seems to start gassing out. And that's the worst thing for any boxer, is to start getting tired when you got a few more rounds left in a fight. So if he can work on his conditioning, work on his defense, work on his movements, not moving in a straight line like he did against Daniel Dubois. If he can do a couple of tweaks Anthony Joshua will be uh, he will be looking good for his last few fights before he retires for good. Um, and I mentioned something about uh, Joe Joyce, and a few people talked about potentially would he retire. Well, it's being stated that he's ruling out retirement right now. So Joe Joyce will continue to fight. I could only hope that his opponents are only at a certain level, because I feel like if he steps up to these guys like Martin Bacoli, F.A. Ajagba, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, that it could really get bad um, for his sake, because he he didn't do much against Herkovic in his last fight. Defensively, he wasn't responsible like we've seen in the past, and he's just taking too much punishment. And I don't want to see the guy. I'd rather see him retire than to see him take a lot more collateral punishment. And plus, he's up in age. I want to say Joe Joyce is 39 or maybe just turned 40. So yeah, he's definitely no spring chicken. So I just don't like the fact of hearing that he's going to stick in there and not retire right now, because he's at an age where I think he just needs to um, figure out some other source of belonging. You know, like I said, boxing commentator, a boxer trainer. There's other things associated with boxing that people can do where they're not actually in there taking punishment. Because Joe Joyce has taken a lot of punishment. So let me know if you agree, or what's your opinion regarding Joe Joyce. Should he retire, or should he keep on boxing? Should he keep on boxing? Who are some opponents you would want to see him go up against? Let me know in the chat, please. If you feel like Joe Joyce should continue boxing and his career keeps going, who should he fight? And then in the recent trending post, the fighter out of Congo, Martin Bacoli. Been seeing a lot of video on him, shredding, getting into shape, jump roping, and doing all his calisthenics and all the different workouts. He's looking very good in training. We know the kind of style he has, aggressive. He's coming forward. He's going to kind of try to plow his opponent. Now, F.A. Ajagba is a little bit more poised to where he's not really coming in like a Bacoli. He's going to plant himself, I believe, position himself to line up Martin Bacoli, and hopefully he'll sidestep or whatever he has to do, lateral movements or something. And if he can fight on his back foot, that's really going to be another major key for victory for F.A. Ajagba, because having that pressure put on him by Martin Bacoli, backing him up, the question is, off his back foot, can he still punch and deliver the type of power that he needs to make Martin Bacoli respect his punch power? And if you've seen F.A. Ajagba in the past, the man can hit. He can definitely hit. He has more punch power than Martin Bacoli, but I think he doesn't have as much punch volume that Martin Bacoli. He throws punches in bunches, and he keeps coming at you, and he keeps throwing punches. Whereas F.A. Ajagba, he might throw a 3 or 4 punch combination and then reset and then repeat. It's going to be a very interesting fight with two different style fighters, both African fighters, one from Congo, one from Nigeria. I'm looking forward to that heavyweight clash because most likely we're not going to see 12 rounds with Martin Bacoli versus F.A. Ejagba. And thanks to those who came in and hit thumbs up. I saw like 7 people had been viewing because you hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that love. Yeah, my laptop still froze. Yeah. Um. So I can't really tell if anybody had said anything because I can't get over to my. I can see the people who liked it. 7 people liked it, but I can't get to actually see the chat. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah. So all right. So we also saw trending here recently. Dmitry Bivol. Some people felt like he had ducked David Benavidez when he relinquished his belt, his WBC belt. Meanwhile, others argue the fact that David Benavidez, in fact, did not, Dmitry Bivol, in fact, did not duck David Benavidez, but he was just promising uh, the trilogy fight to Arthur Peterviev because the same had been done for him from Arthur Peterviev. After he lost to him, he gave him a rematch. So Bivol, in return, is giving him a trilogy fight. So at first, my initial reaction was, is David Benavidez ducking David Benavidez? And I might have felt like that maybe in a prior live stream. But I'm here to say right now, I'm kind of like having a change of heart on that situation. Maybe Dmitry Bivol is not ducking David Benavidez, and we will know for sure once Bivol fights Peterviev if whoever the winner is or whatever, if he grants uh, David Benavidez a fight, they will know all along it was never a duck situation. It was just putting him on hold just until he could finish his trilogy fight. Um, Also, they say that Leanne Cameron agrees to attend round fight with Ben Whitaker. For those who know Ben Whitaker out of UK, he is a fighter that either you love him or you hate him. People that hate him is because he's very arrogant in the ring. He dances in the ring, uh, almost like he's doing a cha cha or something in that ring, and he does a lot of like clowning and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't like that. They say he's a showboat, and they like to see him get beat up, basically. But he will be rematching Liam Cameron in a 10-round fight. Uh, Also in news, David Adelaide versus uh, Giami TKV. The result, uh, it was not overturned because a situation happened in the fight where the ref normally breaks up fighters, but they also say protect yourself at all times. Well, David Adelaide had hit his opponent with a punch and dropped his opponent, and by that time his opponent was discombobulated, and people are saying that that was not a fair blow and that they need to fight, uh, run the fight back. So that's what's going to happen. They will eventually have a rematch with David Adelaide and Giami. I'm also still trying to figure out if the people on Team Pulev have said or stated why he pulled out of his fight with Big Baby Miller. Um, Now that Pulev does not fight Big Baby Miller, uh, his opponent will be Fabio Worley. I'm also wanting to hear more about Daniel Dubois and what's going on with that whole scenario. It's been a while. I haven't heard any like up to date within this week as far as is something official yet with Daniel Dubois versus Usyk or Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. I haven't heard much from either party. Um, so what I'll be doing this week, or maybe even by tomorrow, I will do some research tonight and try to bring you some developing news if I can get any news on the situation with that triangle: Daniel Dubois, uh, Alexander Usyk, and Joseph Parker. Also in news, I heard something about Dillian White. I know he had did an interview and he said his finger was just about healed up, so he'll be back to training and getting ready for a fight. And I believe his opponent was supposed to be Huey Fury, a relative of Tyson Fury. So that'd be a good fight for sure to see. Huey Fury is not as skilled as Tyson Fury, so I think this fight will be a lot better than Fury versus Dillian White, because in that fight, um, it was levels. You know, Tyson Fury was just way too advanced for Dillian White, and he knocked him out eventually with an uppercut. Um, so pretty much that's the rundown for right now. Um, as far as all the matches I named tonight, just let me know in the chat once you get on, or in the comment section. Just jump on in and let me know who you feel will be the winners of those matches that I named off tonight. And I will definitely be seeing you tomorrow for a recap on the fight from the night. Um, I'll be covering some of the Pro Box TV fights, but I'll also be covering the main event, Stanionis versus Boots Ennis, that's going down tonight. So make sure you don't miss that. And once again, before I leave, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Also, in the description area, we have merch. Once again, got these caps and got the shirts. So a lot of the shirts and the hats are matching colors, different sizes, and things of that nature. And they do ship international. So anybody inquiring about it, just go down here in the description area under the comments and click that button that says see more, I believe, and then you will see a link. All right, y'all. So that'll be it for this Saturday night. And we will see you tomorrow here at Read, Walk, Boxing Podcast. So make sure you all stay safe. Tune into these fights tonight. And I will catch you on the next round. Peace.